like I saw some like articles. It was like, I mean, if you got that type of ego that you need to say that, then it was like say pause. Like that's what they was telling him. It was like he needs to say pause.
Is pause better than no homo?
Yes,
Why?
nigga. What?
I mean, no homo. To me, no homo just means I didn't mean that in a gay context.
Yeah, but like it can be. I guess niggas can feel it if I was like no black, no hetero, like no label, whatever the label is. Like I didn't mean that in a nigga.
Bro, no homo is not offensive.
No broke. Like it's just a label.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Why are you doing this? Yes.
Oh, I didn't know you.
Not this on here.
But I'm trying to answer the question. Why do you have to say that?
Raven,
That's
Raven,
offensive.
you ain't on the show.
Yes, I am.
Raven, close the door.
It's my podcast.
Executive producer.
EP. Bro, I don't think no homo's offensive for real. But I mean,
Nigga, you're not gay.
bro, that is so true. That is so true. Like, I always speak on how other people should feel about situations that don't, like, I'm not the person that can be hurt. And I get so offended when like,
white people
when
do
white
that
people
shit
do
to
that.
us,
I'm
bro.
like, you don't know.
It's like, nigga, how you
And
gonna
I'd be
tell
so
me?
quick to do the same thing. You are completely right. Let me shut my ass up. No homo. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Me and the Homies podcast. I'm your host, Tayo. And today I'm joined by a repeat guest for the first time. Got the homie Jay Woods. We good, Woods?
What's up, boy?
Man, chilling. What you been on?
Man, been waiting to get back on the show. First repeat guest. Thanks for having me on the first time. Thanks a million times more to having me on again.
Yeah, y'all been doing numbers. Like, y'all are definitely one of my most viewed episodes. Like, I got 50 or something. But
Well, shit, let me say something about that. I don't know if you told the people, but 1,000.
yeah.
1,000 out. Congratulations
1,000,
on
that's
that.
crazy.
Like, that shit, that's a big deal.
That's 1,000 times people have sit down and listen to me talk for at least 2 hours.
Yeah.
Well, not just me, but me and my friends talk for at least 2 hours, and that's crazy.
That's a big deal.
I really appreciate that, and I thank y'all for the love and support, and I hope that y'all keep doing that. I know people are like getting 1,000 in like 5 minutes, literally, but that's funny.
Yeah.
But definitely appreciate the love. Keep liking, reviewing, rating, sharing. I appreciate all of it. But as usual, we're in the drink for the day. What we got? What you guys drinking on, Woods?
So this is called The Mirror, and I'll
Mirror?
explain that to you in a little
That's a
bit.
hard name.
So what it is, it's mangoes from either your local farmer's market or from Publix, some ginger beer, and some rum. And what we did today was a little bit of a twist on it, and we blended it up in really expensive Ninja. So, and the reason why it's called The Mirror is because Blake showed me this drink while we were in Houston, and what I'm doing is I'm mirroring it back to him so that he can't rate it lowly because it's his drink, so he can't say it sucks.
Finesse.
There we go.
Finesse. Okay. Yeah, I gotta respect that. But the blend is definitely different. But we'll get to it later on. As always, we're gonna get in our top five. The top five for the week. And Woods, you came up with this top five. This is definitely one of the better ones we've had. So I'm excited to do this one. Top five this week is list 5 events that you wish took place with social media as we know it today.
Yeah.
And I want to do something different, especially since it's just 2 of us. You give me one, and I'll give you one, and we'll bounce it back.
Ooh.
Like that this week. So you go ahead and start us off.
Ooh. This was tough.
Bro, it was tough.
was
And it was tough to try and do things that weren't going to be like the exact same ones you have. Because I know there's a few moments that like you're just like, this resonates with me, and we have a lot of common interests.
Yeah. So I'm going to say, start off, I'm going to say MJ Moonwalk. And bro,
yeah.
If you look at the time, if you look at people who like talk about that, their minds were blown. Like,
what was the first, was it at that Motown 25th anniversary?
yeah, I was it at like the VMAs maybe?
Okay, I know it was like a huge stage. I remember.
Yeah, bro. And when I see the reactions to that, like everyone is just like, what did he do? What's going on with his feet? Like people were confused and they just didn't even know what to call it, anything. You know, like the moonwalk now is pretty commonplace. Like that's one of the first things you might learn if you're a dancer. But that moment, I think, would have been so crazy to see on Twitter, everyone reacting and just like, what the hell did I just see?
Right.
That moment. I think that would have been pretty cool during social media. What you got?
Definitely. My number one, well, not number one, but my first one is the 1995 Source Awards. And that was a huge one. If you've just ever live watched any award shows, that'd be a great one. They had a lot of historic moments. You had the Suge Knight, If You Don't Want, the executive dancing all in the video, Come to Death Row. You also had the Snoop Dogg, Y'all Ain't Got No Love for the West Coast.
Yeah.
You had Andre 3000.
The South got something to say.
The South got something to say. Like that award show was crazy. And then you got to think what we think about aren't even the like performances and stuff. You already know that was super lit. It's the mid 90s and everybody's popping. So that was one. That was my first one.
The South got something to say, bro. And then the Suge Knight, I'm telling you, I would have been live tweeting that.
Bro,
like, nigga.
You would have went crazy.
You immediately knew who he was talking about. He was like, nigga, get him. Like, hey, that was a good one. So now I'm going to take it, I don't even know the year, none of this, just off the top of the dome, like landing on the moon.
Like mind blown, bro.
Mind blown, bro. Like you see that. You tweeting the videos, the clips, all of that. That's taking over any social media. And that's not even just an American thing. That's not a Southern thing, anything. That's a world event, humanitarian type event. And it's like, you just walked on the moon. Like, that's some wild shit.
Well, another thing, that's one of the few things that's happened throughout history where, you know, all these years later, you don't look back at that and say, oh, that's crazy that people were excited about that or that was a big deal.
Yeah.
Like when segregation was ended, you know, we look back now and you can't even really completely empathize with that.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, how could, you know, I see a fountain and be like, oh, I can't drink that one.
Yeah.
Walking on the moon is still something today. If it happened, we would be losing it. So, I mean, yeah, that would have definitely been crazy the first time around. I guess I'm up. My second one is Cassius Clay versus Sonny Liston.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that.
It's not even necessarily the event, but it's just like when you see people, certain athletes like Joel Embiid or Floyd Mayweather and Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley, like certain athletes with a personality and just the persona that, you know, people just are, it's just magnetizing. Like, you are more involved or more interested rather in them than their actual performance in their, you know, respective sports. And I mean, nobody did that better than Muhammad Ali in a time with the least media coverage. Like, you didn't have, it wasn't as all-encompassing as it is now.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that was the fight. If you look through his fights, they say that's the one that really brought him on. He was not expected to win. And then a week later is when he changed his name to Muhammad Ali. So the combination of all that, him like prime time talking trash, I just pulled up this huge upset. I know it would have been crazy.
Which is crazy. Like, you know, we don't have much context on it unless you like a really historian of boxing. But just to think, like, there was a time when Muhammad Ali, he wasn't the favorite. Like,
at all.
Like, it was like, he probably is not going to win this.
Bro, so, you know, like, he didn't knock Sonny Liston out the first time. Sonny Liston had a shoulder injury. And so he couldn't come back out and he was declared the victor. So there was a lot of people who still doubted him. And it's like...
Is that a TKO? Is that considered a TKO thing?
I guess so. I don't know. But I just remember that being a big deal. And then he like fought him again and he knocked him out like the first round. So, I mean, definitely established. But who do you have next?
Ooh. All right. The sports. All right. Tell me how hard it would have been. So these are two different like events, but the same thing. So O.J. Simpson, the trial, and the Bronco.
How did I not think about that?
The Bronco.
What was going on during the Bronco? There's something
It was
crazy.
like the finals. It was the finals. I want to say basketball, like the finals game, and they cut away from it
to follow him.
Just following him. Think about the live tweeting and the videos of O.J. Simpson, like this famous football player that is revered by whites and blacks, running away. The highway is shut down, and he's running away on national TV.
Who do we have as big as OJ? Odell, maybe?
No.
You don't think Odell's as big? So bigger than Odell?
What? Because I think white people like loved OJ. LeBron, I don't know. Like OJ, from my understanding, was like the man.
That's crazy.
Was the man. Maybe Tiger Woods. I'd say maybe like Tiger Woods.
Okay.
Like, and if he was running away on the interstate, cop chasing him, and it's just like shut down, and like that's crazy. Then you think about the O.J. Simpson trial, And do you remember Casey Anthony's trial and how big that was on Twitter and everything else? And you think about that. Nobody knew who Casey Anthony was.
I still don't know who Casey Anthony is.
Casey Anthony, the girl in maybe Florida, killed her daughter. This was like maybe 2010 or something. They never found her the baby's body, I think, maybe to the end. You know who Casey Anthony.
I don't know what I like. This is new to me. I'm legit
gonna show
interested.
you this afterwards, and you're gonna be like,
Did she get
yeah, she
convicted?
got off.
She got off?
I'm pretty sure Casey Anthony got off.
Damn.
Like, damn, I'm gonna feel really foolish if she didn't. But
Off topic, have you seen the new season of Making a Murder?
no, I haven't seen.
I haven't
it yet.
seen it yet either because I'm just like, he's still in jail. I
Yeah,
know that.
yeah.
Like that's why social media and just like how easy it is to access information now. I'm not that interested. I know he's still in jail.
You
Ain't
already
nothing that
know.
crazy y'all finna tell me. But
Then the trial, the glove moment, and then you got when he's acquitted, and that was one of those splitting moments right down the middle of black and white, and it was just like, oh, like white people had a 100% reaction. Oh, that nigga's guilty. They fucked it up. And on the other side, we like, shit.
we don't give a fuck.
It's about damn time.
Right, yeah.
Like,
It's done screwed us over so
Yeah.
many times. That is crazy though, being happy for someone like in your heart is 100% a murderer.
This nigga killed his wife.
Murderer, bro.
In her side, man. Like, side note on that. I know you've seen that Kris Jenner when she's in the courthouse and her ex-husband Rob Kardashian is defending her side piece O.J. Simpson while she with her new nigga Bruce Jenner, all in the courthouse at one time.
So how open is that OJ? Is that really a 1,000% a thing?
I'm pretty sure. Like, I mean, I know like there's the rumors about Chloe. Yeah, Chloe.
I mean, the daughter.
Think about that though. Like, oh yeah, the daughter looks
Just like
her.
Chloe.
But I mean, you look at it; they're both like 5'1". Chloe is 5'10". Like, her sisters are 5'1". She is 5'10". Like, that does not happen. Like,
doesn't
and
make any
like
sense,
her
yeah.
frame, all of that is just completely different. Naturally, before she did all this other stuff, but yeah, just completely different. But yeah, that moment, and then the glove, all of this stuff. I mean, that would have just been a crazy thing to follow.
Yeah, that's true.
What you got?
Next I have, and I didn't really narrow this down.
Mm-hmm.
I have another one. I guess none of my rest of them I really narrowed down to an exact moment. But Diane Sawyer's 2020 run.
2020 run with
She had the show 2020, and
Yeah.
like just the run of that show. Like some of those interviews, like you had the Whitney and Bobby.
that's the
interview.
first one that comes.
You got the Michael interview where he just sitting there and he's like, "Do you think it's okay?" It's not Diane Sawyer. It's the other guy. I don't remember his name. He's like, "Do you think it's okay for children to sleep in the same bed as a 40-year-old man?" I'm like, yes. I was like, "Oh shit, I'm young, but I know that's wrong."
That nigga's bullshitting.
But like imagining that with social media would have been crazy.
Like, think those moments, and then Whitney Houston saying that, like, "Oh no, I don't do crack. Like, crack is whack.
Crack
Like,
is what? Where are the receipts?
yeah, like it's cheap. It's cheap."
I was
and,
like, oh my God.
like you think about that, and like people just grabbing those bites. How crazy that would have been.
I mean, what people would have done with it, like just
yeah, in perpetual motion, you would have seen that. And I'm
what's dude's name? The remix guy. I don't know what his first name is, but he just the one who takes all the famous clips and makes them into beats.
Oh, yeah, I've seen.
He would kill,
bro. Just
like,
it continuously. I'm gonna tell you one that you would not stop seeing, and you would see so many parodies of it. But this one, I think, if it had, and I've talked to you about this before, this one had been in a different time period when social media was around. This is very big, but it would have been 1,000 times bigger. Trapped in the Closet series, R. Kelly. Bro,
was it not?
It was big, but it
But what
wasn't.
I'm
It
saying,
wasn't
we had
Twitter.
social-
It wasn't.
Oh.
It
Yeah,
wasn't.
I understand. It was on like the front end of that stuff.
Yeah,
starting to come to form.
if you had Vines out when that was going, if you had these like little 10, 15-second clips, do you know how much they would have remixed that? Like
Do you know
taking
how
little pieces of it?
like how so the writing went from a very reasonable, crazy situation to some wild shit.
How far along? It went to like 20 or something, like Trapped in the Closet.
Last thing I know, and I don't know the technical term I'm supposed to use, but he was a little person.
Oh, that's the politically correct. Yeah,
Okay,
little
cool.
person, yeah.
I remember it was a little person. I remember we went to a whole different mansion.
That's right. No,
Wasn't there a pimp?
I remember someone got the package. You remember that?
Yeah.
He was like, but they were using that as a double entendre. Like,
Yeah.
somebody got.
I remember
STD.
the pimp. I remember a diner, a church.
There was it was so much going on.
Bro, it
Someone
really-
had it like it was a lot.
It really went to like a wild place.
But if you think about like those clips specifically, how many times they would have been used like for just rebutting someone on Twitter, just taking one little clip.
yeah,
it would
it
just
would've
be
been crazy.
funny videos after funny videos. It was just so much content there that you could probably use. So I think Trapped in the Closet, as big as it would have been maybe double as big in like this era.
Yeah, I mean, it goes all the way into like, so, okay, it was a lot of chapters, and it basically ends up being 33 chapters in total.
Oh my God.
But I mean, he released it over the course of like 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I was tuned out after maybe.
Oh
two,
yeah, we
maybe,
all
yeah.
just were like, this is too much.
Do you remember though? I don't know if you remember. Like we were waiting for the next Trapped in the Closet.
Oh
like,
yeah. After that first like 12, that's when we were into it.
You were like waiting for like, what's the next one? What's gonna happen next?
Then he just
Like,
got silly.
Yeah, it was too far out there. But like, I mean, think about that. It was essentially music, but then it was like a soap opera, and he tied those two together. And it was like a play, and a couple of like different running plots were all stitched together. And I think that's you got.
He cannot read or write. Isn't that crazy?
Wait,
Well, not. I don't know about write. Oh, you can't write if you can't read. He can't read.
wait. Can you not write if you can't read?
I mean, what do you write? Like, I mean, there's no way.
I guess you're right. You can,
But if you could write and you couldn't read, that'd be the crazy. My mind would be blown.
but I mean, what? So Floyd Mayweather can't write or something?
I mean, if you can't read, I don't understand how you could write. Like,
Well, I think you probably just have a lot of like misspellings, like
bro,
because
no. Like, there's no way you can. There's no way you cannot read, but you can write. Like, there's no way.
is it not? Like,
That's not possible. It can't be. No, there's no way.
So you don't think? I mean, so he can't read.
I know he can't read. You know, he was saying he learned how to read because I think his daughter and him would communicate via voice messages.
Uh-huh.
And so he would say whatever he wanted to say and then look at it, like spell it out and be like, oh, okay, send.
What, bro, like how? I mean, really. I know, like being a celebrity early on changes things, but like
He
how
was an
does-
adult. Like, it wasn't like Bow Wow or something.
Oh, so like how does that happen? Like,
I mean, he was a garbage man. So,
but like I mean, this is the mandatory education. It's not like he went to secondary.
I mean, I'm sure he just dropped out. Like, I assume.
What
First
after
off, dropping out
after
of-
first grade? Like,
is that when you learn to read?
I feel like you should know how to read like by first or second grade, bro. Like it's that early. It's not like you learned to read in fifth grade, bro. Like,
I really don't remember learning how to read, if that makes sense.
so you have sight words that you have to like recount, like
Learn,
in
yeah.
kindergarten, like where you're like the A B. I mean, like, well, those are letters, but you got those smaller words in kindergarten. Then first grade, you're starting to like. I mean, I was in a spelling bee in first grade, like so. you know what I mean?
that's
Like,
true.
and then we had some nice sized words,
Yeah.
for a first grader. So I'm like, you should be able to read in first.
Well, I guess
Did he
bro, I'm
forget?
not gonna make fun of people who don't know how to read, bro. Shout
mean-
out to y'all. Y'all do y'all's best.
Hold on. Do you think you have listeners that don't know how to read? Hey, Blake's listeners, I think more of you than he does, okay?
Well,
What?
it's a possibility. Even if they don't know how to read, there's a possibility that they like.
They don't read well?
Wait, hold on.
Like, what are you finna say?
He has a book, an autobiography.
Wait, it's an audiobook. It's an audiobook.
Bro, he's somebody I don't feel like a little bit bad about making fun of.
Of course not.
Like, yeah,
Of course not.
You deserve all of this.
Of course not.
That's crazy. He has a book and don't know how to read.
Nah, bro, no way. Like,
He has it's an autobiography.
I feel like when we say don't know how to read, he doesn't read at a high level.
Nah, out of his very own mouth, he said that like text to talk stuff
But,
or
like,
talk to text.
But he just doesn't know how to read at a high level. But like he can,
Bro, if you can't send text messages, it's like that's basic stuff.
he just doesn't spell things well. I just it's hard for me to fathom like something so fundamental, and he can't do that. So he never wrote his own song,
No, he doesn't write them.
but he never wrote his own song ever.
Like write them down?
Yeah, he never wrote his own song.
No, I guess he just goes in there and does it off his head.
He freestyles R&B.
Bro, that's probably easier than rapping.
Possibly, yeah.
And he didn't. Okay, well now I'm even more lost. He didn't drop out because he was on the high school basketball team.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I'm
So
so
this-
lost,
This man went to high school and didn't know how to read.
bro. There's plenty of people that do that.
Are
Do you
there?
remember on Diddy making a band or Diddy's making a band? he sent them to go get like
sugar
cheesecake.
cookies? Oh.
No, it was cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
He sent them to get cheesecake, and while they were out there in the cold, they had to read.
Yes.
Bruh, and one of them couldn't. I think it was Chopper. He couldn't read, or Ness who couldn't. One of them, and they was trying to pretend like they was really getting feedback from the book, but it was like they were struggling. But that shit was so.
And you know what's funny about it? Like it's almost. This is kind of a parallel, but you know how if you hear a beat of an original song, you might rap like if it's from like 06 to 09, you might rap Lil Wayne's verse on it,
Right.
like on accident.
Yeah.
That's what I just did with that. The cheesecake, the sugar cookie was Dave Chappelle.
Oh yeah.
So
and it was so big, you think of it before you think of the original.
Exactly. That's what just happened. Speaking of which, why won't Jacquees? Why won't he just like stop doing LMA songs, bro? I just saw another video.
He was performing the hell out.
Yeah,
that song.
I'm like, bro, chill. Like, write your own shit, bro.
Bro, I mean, he can't go. He's probably just not trying to go out looking like a chump because I mean they bullied him like take it down. But he did too much with the video. The music video was really where he did too much. I ain't had no problem with anything else.
He did a music video, then he tried to like release it like his stuff, like part of his stuff, correct?
What you mean release it as part of his stuff?
Like I think isn't that why they told him to take it down?
They told him to take it down because it was getting more buzz than hers.
Well, I mean, all right, they own it.
Yeah,
They
I'm not
own it,
mad at
like,
them.
They own it. It's just
But I just feel like everybody was trying to make fun of him. Like I didn't know you couldn't post music on SoundCloud. Like
I
that
thought you
no more.
could post it on SoundCloud.
Well, you can't.
Oh.
Well, because now you can monetize your listens on SoundCloud.
You can. That's true.
So they were like, no, and everybody was acting like, duh. I'm like, plenty of people have done stuff like that.
Plenty, like that's what SoundCloud was.
Right,
then,
exactly.
Man. But yeah, this nigga was performing the shit out of it and it pissed me off.
Yeah. Were you on me or you?
I just did the R. Kelly, which took us down there.
All right. My next one is Barack Obama's first presidential campaign. There was social media. Oh, you had that. So there was social media, but it wasn't like what it is now. And I mean, I just can't even imagine that. Like,
Bro.
And then Jay-Z dropped or was it? No, it was Jeezy. He dropped the My President is Black.
Hey, bro, that song, bro, right now, it gets me giddy if I hear it, bro. If I hear My President is Black, my Lambo is blue, and I be goddamn, my rims ain't too. Hey,
bro, when Hov hopped on the remix is when I knew. I was like, this is real. Like,
matter of fact, he's half white. Hey.
So even in the races I
He's half right. Like I'm like, Jesus, bro, this is real.
That shit was
like
real.
it immediately gets that like bubbly feeling for me, bro. Like I'm just like, damn. But yeah, if social media then and then I was kind of thinking about this as well when he did his 04 speech. Which is the speech that sparked all of it. And it was such a different speech in general for politics, but then him, if you see it, like how passionate, how young he is, it's like his energy, he can't even control it. You think of Obama as a very controlled person. He's like
so excited.
He's so excited.
And worked up.
And then as divisive as we are right now, like that 04 era was that because of the Iraq War, Bush, like he was.
That was the whole energy
very
of the country.
Unpopular. Yeah, and he was like, you know what? Like we're not that different in red states and blue states. You got gay people in red states. You got, gun control people in blue states. And so that was the message that the country needed to hear. So I think that on social media would have been crazy as well because afterwards I remember hearing the correspondence and they were just like
blown away.
Like,
yeah.
What did we just hear? Is this Martin Luther King? Like it was.
And it's so much easier for commentators and the opposition to admit that when you're not viewed as like the threat yet. Yeah. People speak honestly. They don't speak on it as a strategic, they don't bite their tongue and speak with, fear of promoting you too much.
Point. That's a very good point.
And that's when you just saw everybody was like, oh, it was really the moment he arrived.
That's a very good point. Yeah. When, the conservative media was like, damn, like they was like, damn, this nigga cold. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so that's what it was. Like they didn't see him as a threat. They was like, damn. And they didn't have no strategy for it. They had to just react naturally. It reminds me of J. Cole's line. He's like, you mean you might not mess with me, but when you hear my shit, you're gonna be bobbing your head. Right. Because that's just your natural reaction. They had their natural reaction, and this nigga, they was like, damn, like we in for some trouble, but this nigga cold. I gotta admit it. So down that line, I don't even know what number are we on, because I got so many here.
I'm on my last one.
Okay, so is this my last one? Or
you wrote a ton.
Yeah, so bro, I just freestyle top of the head. So
yeah, I got one left. So I guess you got one left as well.
All right, so this is the last.
Oh no, you should have. Yeah, you should have one left.
Ooh. 1964 Civil Rights Act. Hey, the Civil Rights Act. when that finally got passed, and you really kind of have to know the history of those like years leading up to it and how much of a struggle and how much of like even like the Southern Democrats were the wall that was stopping it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like in Lyndon Johnson, he had to betray his own people. Like we talked about, he was a Southern Democrat.
Yeah.
And he had to betray the Dixiecrats, as they were called, to get that pass. And they were just like, people, his best friends call him a nigga lover. They was like, you up there with Martin Luther King, like loving niggas?
Bro, and so as difficult as that already was, there's a lot of people when they talk about Lyndon B. Johnson, they say he wasn't even like, it wasn't a stance that he had to be persuaded on. They said he wanted that to be his defining moments. Like his own advisors were like, look, we have a lot of shit we can do. And you gotta think it's the 60s, Vietnam. There's so much going on that you could take a different, stance or something else that you want to stand on as what your legacy is, what you want to be your defining moment. And he was like, no, I want to do this.
And you know what's really crazy about that is I don't know that would have happened if JFK hadn't gotten assassinated. Yeah. Like I actually don't think it would have happened. And it's not that they were racist or anything. First off, they didn't have the connections to Congress like Lyndon Johnson did, as he was the Speaker of the House at one point.
Right.
And so he had very strong connections. He had a really good influence. But also, like, they were kind of like seen as like Northerners who they didn't really see. They were always privileged. They didn't know that racism was that strong.
Yeah, that prevalent.
Yeah, so like that was to get that moment. I think that would have been like, think about like if niggas was on Twitter at the time, like, hooray! Like, they was like, hooray! Hell yeah, nigga, we here. Like, I mean, obviously there was a lot longer to go, but like in that moment, that had to have felt like a watershed moment for America. Then yeah, that would have been crazy.
Bro, I feel like, so I had that event. Well, not that event. I had, I think, 2 events to take place during when racism is pretty prevalent. And I'm just curious, like, how bad do you think it would have been on social media? Like, you see how reckless people talk now.
Bro, exactly. Bro.
And then you can't pop off like as a black guy to a white person and expect no like backlash.
Niggas gonna literally reply to you, I'm coming to your house, nigga.
To kill you.
Like, you know what I'm saying? like look in your front yard. It's a cross burning, nigga.
It's funny now, huh, boy?
Yes,
like, oh shit.
Like, oh shit, delete. Nigga, it's a joke.
It'd be way worse than folks be pulling up on people now.
Just pulling up.
Like, did you see that girl pull up on oh my goodness. So I think it was a young lady. I have to find a video to repost on the page. It's not uplifting, but whatever. There's a girl, and I believe she had some sort of dispute with her roommate about a dog. Something about you saw that?
Yeah.
So for listeners, it was some type of dispute with the listener, with her former roommate about a dog. And said girl is gone or whatever. She's not living there anymore. But she sends her friend, who's, everybody has that big bad friend that'll pull up. It don't matter, I'll pull up. She sends her friend, and her friend brings her boyfriend to confront the girl and get her dog. Bro, they had got into it before, and so she knew the guy would jump in. Mm-hmm. So she tells the girl, you know what, I'm through fighting. You can come in and get the dog. When the girl comes in and gets the dog, she closes the door, locks it so the boyfriend can't get in, beats the brakes off of the girl. When the girl reaches for the door to let her boyfriend in, she throws her off the door and continues to beat her down. Bro, so then the girl finally gets up and she lets her out and opens the door. The guy comes in to try and put his hands on the girl. She maces both of them.
Oh, wait, I didn't see this.
So the camera falls. You have to be too invested to know this, which I was. But the camera apparently falls and she maces them. And then you can hear him scream and run out, bro. It was.
So did you see the previous video? Like it was 2
videos. I saw. It's 3.
Oh, it's 3 videos. Yeah. So I definitely didn't see that Mason part. But yeah, she because at first the girl wouldn't leave. Like she wouldn't leave at first.
Yeah,
if I'm correct. But yeah, do you hear her call for her boyfriend's name? She like, Johnny, or whatever the nigga name is. And she you think about that though. You right outside the door.
Listen to your girlfriend
and your girlfriend getting the brakes beat off her ass.
That's rough.
That would, you'd be pretty frustrated. But the thing is, did she lock it when she first closed it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she casually closes it, and then when he tries to stop her, she slams it and locks it.
I didn't know she locked it. Okay, because I was like, nigga, I mean, I know you probably gonna get in trouble, but you got to get through that threshold at that point.
Well, just break the door down?
Nah, I ain't gonna break the door down now. I thought that it was unlocked.
Oh, no.
But I mean, think if Like it's like,
You
girl,
got,
like,
I don't know what you can do because
But
he
like-
was going ham on the door. He just never got it down.
oh, so I'm like, I mean, not to say that your girlfriend's your kid, but like, it's like your kid, your family's behind the
Yeah.
door getting their ass beat. And
It's got to be a terrible feeling.
yeah, and you're helpless.
And then you got to get in the car and just ride. Y'all, that's a quiet car ride, bro.
But I think about that the reverse way. If you got your ass beat and you got to ride with your girl back home, like a knot upside your head, anything she say, you ready to pop off. If she say anything, if she ever use that shit against you, you ready to pop the fuck off. Like, I mean, but how do you even console your girl after she just get the brakes beat off her ass?
I have no clue.
And she might damn near be mad at you. Why the fuck you didn't break the door down? Like, why you didn't get an axe?
And you got to think, that's the friend that the other girl sent to start shit. Like,
So I didn't know that portion.
yeah, so that's got to be humbling because you thought you was big and bad.
And so, man, I don't know. When I was watching it, I liked the way that light-skinned girl, she conducted her business. Like, she was like pulling up her pants. She was like, yeah.
I
Like,
mean, it's your home. Like,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you gotta protect yourself in your home. And I don't think anybody can fault you. Like, if you come to my house, bro, you're not gonna bring harm to me in my home.
yeah. That,
Like, whatever you
100%.
got to do is what you got to do at that point.
Honestly, real quickly, if she crossed the like threshold, she could like basically kill her and be okay with it.
That's what people were
Yeah.
saying in the comments. I stayed out of that. I don't.
Yeah,
Our legal system. Who knows what's gonna happen?
that's a good point.
But my last one on the top 5, which is taking us 30 minutes to get through, was World War II.
I was thinking,
Bro, and you just had mentioned that earlier. You were like, just imagine. I mean, pray to God we aren't, going to face another world war. But just thinking about the entire world being in a state of war and the devastation, I don't know that I would be excited to see it, but I think I would want to understand more clearly what it's like for a whole country to be in a time of war. And I would just want the documentation to see what it was really like.
yeah,
And to compare perspectives. Because, I mean, when you're in one country,
that's a good point.
you
That's a
don't
good point.
empathize with other countries and how it's impacting them and how, like, even if, you guys are thinking about jobs being hard and money being tight, where there's other people who was like, my house was just blown up. Like,
And when you really think about that, what's so interesting is this, and you think about this nowadays, the United States didn't want to get into that war. Like, our closest allies were begging us, please. England was like, please help us.
Right.
We are getting blitzkrieged. Like, getting, like, all of, like, we're seeing like the powers to be like take over lands, like just take them and like this is ours now. This is ours now. They are about to take. Winston Churchill is begging like, hey, please get involved. We need it. And how is that not the dumbest mistake probably in war strategy history to bomb Pearl Harbor?
Bruh.
Like that changed.
we didn't
history.
want no smoke.
We was like, think about that. The United States always is like, yeah, let's fight.
Yeah.
Like
the one time we don't want no smoke.
We don't want nothing.
You gonna come start it with us?
like niggas like, all right.
That has to be one of the biggest mistakes ever.
They got so bold. They was like, we gonna come sneak attack you in Hawaii of all places.
Right.
Like, nigga,
Just
that's
chilling out there, blissful place.
That's what I'm
Every Hawaiian you meet is just a calm, nice person. You gonna start it with them?
you go start it with them, and like that's literally what made you get your ass beat. We was gonna let y'all take over all of Europe.
I mean, you have to be fundamentally insane.
Kamikaze.
No, well, just to say I'm taking over the world. Like Hitler wasn't on some like I have this one, overarching issue. I'm gonna combat it and be done. He was like, no, the world.
The world. And I mean
The world, Craig.
You don't even see any like nowadays, but like you saw with Russia when they annexed Crimea, but like people don't conquer lands anymore. This nigga was trying to conquer lands like everywhere.
Bro, that was wild. But I'm glad we finally got off of that because I was trying to decide if I'm going to make this a recurring segment. I'm going to let the listeners decide because I don't really get on the Shade Room like in my own personal time, but for the sake of the podcast, I, follow the Shade Room on the podcast page.
Come on, bro. You like Shade Room.
I do not follow the Shade Room.
Nigga, you don't follow Shade Room on personal?
No.
Okay.
But it's just too much, bro.
It is a lot.
It's too much. I think I follow Baller Alert.
You follow. All right, go ahead.
I think I can do one, but I can't do both,
I
bro.
got you.
And then they're so on top of everything. Like they will flood your
So
timeline
on top of
because the algorithm is gonna push that kind of stuff to the top. I'm straight, bro. And so I'm thinking about adding this shit you see on the Shade Room.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of like great narratives that you can run with, but one that hit me, and I want to firstly say prayers out to everybody that was affected by not only the shooting in LA, but also the wildfires.
Yep.
the post that really sparked my attention was Caitlyn Jenner, formerly known as Bruce Jenner.
Yep.
She had to evacuate her house because of the wildfires. And so she made a video kind of letting her followers know, I'm safe and I'm okay. We did have to evacuate. And her dogs got out too. I don't think that's important, but whatever. Never mind. Caitlyn, the part that stood out was Caitlyn was not by herself.
Yeah.
Do you know she got a little young giant?
Oh, yeah.
I had no clue.
Yeah, they've been dating for a little minute.
Bro, I'd be so uninformed of this kind of stuff. I was really tickled, bro. Like,
that's the part.
They had me dying. He was sitting there. I mean, she was sitting there laid up with her judge. She was like, yeah, we made it out okay. It's not been a fun day, but, we're all good.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was reading. I didn't read I was just watching this like, who is this?
Yeah.
And I was assuming it's one of the Jenners because I
Yeah.
don't know anybody from that side except the one dude. I don't even remember his name. And so.
Like Brody, I think.
Brody, yeah. And so I was like, oh, that must be his daughter. And then she said something. I was like, whoa. And I read the caption. I was like, oh.
Who is that? So.
I mean, I don't know her name.
Yeah.
But I was just blown away that he had him a little young giant.
She had.
Dang, she had her a little young giant. And I was like, bro, this is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Then she just was like, I'm about to live my best life for real.
Yeah.
First off, I'm done with you.
Yeah.
Second off, I'm through with this man stuff. And third of all, I need me something young because you was too old.
You was too
I
old.
need me some young meat.
Look,
I was like, this is wild.
they a lot of people were like, this is quintessentially what white privilege is, or what being white is. It was like literally her house and everything was on fire. She was like, we good, like our health, like, yeah, our house. She was like kind of cheery. And she was like, yeah, our house just caught on fire. Everything we had is burnt up, but it's all good. Like,
Yeah, we're good.
Like,
Having a drink.
If you and they at a different place. If all my shit, like, I'm fucked up.
Fucked.
I'm like it's like, damn, you gonna see me over
Bro,
there crying.
I'm never gonna think to turn to social media. Like,
Yeah.
I would be on the phone crying to my mother.
You gonna
like
see
a
me
child.
crying, and then this is not someone that's still our age that has a mother, has some type of like place to go
Support
back
system,
to.
yeah.
Like you just out here, your house, everything you got burned up, and like I'm gonna be sitting there crying, like, damn, it's gone. I'm broke. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Bro, that was just hilarious to me.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's crazy. But prayers again to all of those affected. You want to get into Selection Day?
So yeah, I do have to say this. I don't want to take you on that tangent.
No, go ahead.
But so with the fires, did you see your boy, your President Donald Trump? You see your man's?
No, I didn't see it. What did he say?
He said the California fires were because of California, like they're being poorly mismanaged, right? That's what he said. No,
The wildfires?
the wildfires, no consoling, no none of that. He said that's because of this. 23 people have died. Like,
Yeah.
and that's the message you give. And I was just like, I mean, obviously I'm disconnected from being down here, but I'm just like, if that were your family that passed away, that your house was up in flames, and that's the message you get is y'all did that to yourselves. You know what I mean? Like, that's on you. It's mismanaged and just shitting on about a wildfire, which obviously, it's getting
It's
worse.
not like man-made.
Well, it is man-made.
Wait, what happened?
Climate control.
Okay.
Climate control. Climate change. But so I'm just like, that would suck to hear that from your leader.
Bro, and isn't California a traditionally red state?
No, that's a very liberal state.
Oh,
It has
California. What am I talking about?
It has a lot of. It does have a lot of red counties though, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought like that would really suck and frustrate the shit out of me. And like people have died and you didn't even console. You just said that's y'all's fault. Like, are you gonna say on the East Coast that's y'all's fault for those hurricanes? Like,
What did you see what Marsha Blackburn said about the shooting?
when she said we got to protect the Second Amendment?
Like, first off
The
top.
absolute first thing she
Yeah.
said was we got to protect the Second Amendment.
Yeah. that's-
Silly.
Anyway, but to get into the election, I have a brief excerpt from the Skim. I thought they had a pretty good overall statement of just, the results, and then we can get more into it. They said, well, D.C. is officially divided. You've been hearing that a blue wave was coming, and that didn't exactly happen, but Democrats did take control of the House for the first time in 8 years. Republicans kept the Senate and picked up seats in the process. And then there are some new Democratic governors, but the GOP kept its hold in battleground states. That'll be key in the 2020 run. President Trump, he called the night a tremendous success. And it can, and then on a I guess a different excerpt was saying it can be pretty tough to get things passed. The Democrats have suggested they'll go after Trump's tax returns, and now they have the power to launch investigations into him or his cabinet. And they said things to think about would be the Russian interference as well as his ethics concerns. And so that was just an excerpt that I thought kind of, pretty.
Yeah.
I did a pretty good job of summarizing the results. What was your, I guess, reaction to the overall election day results?
Well, I mean, when people say it wasn't a blue wave, I kind of disagree with that. It was. It was. You guys, I think, picked up 30-some seats in the House. The Senate, it did exactly what we thought was going to happen. Like the states that were in play for the Senate were all in very deeply red Republican, Donald Trump leaning places. So, people didn't think that was a good map for the Senate. They picked up a lot of House seats, and what that does, and so it kind of sucks because the Senate, obviously, you're going to be able to they're still going to be able to confirm judges.
Right.
In a lot of these positions, cabinet positions that, Secretary General, like all of these places. But the House now is going to be some type of check.
Yeah.
Like they had
some
no
type of check and balance.
Check.
It was literally just whatever we want to do when we want to do it.
Yeah. And the only thing I don't want is Democrats to overstep or anything like that. But I think with the ethics, with this Robert Mueller probe, like they're gonna be able to at least flesh out what exactly happened, things like that. So I'm pretty excited about the House. I wish we could have picked up some of those governorships, maybe in Florida, which is still in play.
Yeah.
But in Ohio, I think both of those places, because they get to draw the maps. When you do that, and so I think those are really long-term effects of not being able to draw the map in such a competitive race. Yeah, and so I think that those are the two places where I'm kind of like
Ohio and
Florida as well, which is still being contested. Yes. Stacey Abrams, I love me some Stacey Abrams, so that kind of which is still being contested as well as we speak. But I wanted them to definitely win. Andrew Gillum, I told you beforehand, I said if he wins this, and then if he does well, he might be on the ticket in 2020 or 2024. Beto, obviously, I really have a lot of respect for him. He was in a tough ruby red place.
So wait, let's slow down for the listeners because I know I always try and baby steps it into this political stuff just because I know everybody isn't as informed and I really want people to be. And so the key races that he's talking about, they were in, traditionally conservative places. And that's the governor's race in Florida, which was between Gillum and DeSantis, which was a progressive Democrat versus a Trump Republican. And just for the listeners, this guy ran robocalls, which is those automatic calls you get, and they acted like they were Andrew Gillum, and they said, if you elect me, I'm gonna give all the niggas like food stamps. I'm gonna do this. These were robocalls that were going out. Hi, I'm Andrew Gillum. I'm a, nigga loving. It was really racist. When you say nigga, are you paraphrasing?
No, I'm not bullshitting. So, and the first thing they said was, he said when Andrew Gillum won the primary, he said, let's not monkey this up. That's what he said.
Oh, I do recall that.
And then when the former maybe governor of Georgia went down there, he said, cotton picking. And these aren't
terms that you just normally use.
Accidental terms.
They're words that people pick that are close enough to say, "Oh, I didn't mean it like that," but you don't use in your day-to-day, dialect. So
it gives you that wiggle room.
Yeah.
So So that Andrew Gillum versus DeSantis, and then Florida. Georgia.
Georgia had Abrams and Kemp.
Yep.
And then Ohio, I'm not as well versed on Ohio.
It was the governorship. I'm not as well versed on Ohio as well as either. But yeah, those are the two ones that are
really key. And so right now in Georgia, there's a dispute back and forth about voter suppression, and basically, essentially, she's doing what, as an American who's not super deep on politics, like prior to trying to get more informed.
Sure.
I would have always thought it was done in the way that makes logical sense. I was never really aware, probably until maybe this is the first election I've realized that people concede before all of the votes are counted.
Yeah.
which is crazy to me. Like, it
Why?
just doesn't even make sense. Why would I say, oh, yeah, you got it? Like, why would I spend millions of dollars and be on this campaign trail for months on end, and then, like, with 100,000 votes, I'd be like, yeah, you got it.
Well, so you understand.
Well, I
understand
know
what the thinking
sometimes,
is, right?
okay, so I know sometimes the numbers suggest that there's no way you could come back. It's an insurmountable lead.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Andrew Gillum conceded, and it was never that. It was never at a point where it was just like, there's no way this is going to be close.
So the county that they're in, that county has always had problems going back to Al Gore and Bush, and the amount of votes they said that there were left maybe were 10,000.
Right.
But then we find out there's 50,000. So it was that type of thing. He was going off the best data that he had, and then new data came about. So there's that voter suppression shit. That's that's really frustrating.
In Georgia, which is where you are,
Yeah.
that voter suppression stuff is crazy.
Let me say this. My biggest takeaway was thank you for everyone coming out and voting. Like, young people, minorities, we put up numbers,
Bro, numbers on the
like
board,
it
bro.
was a presidential election. And that's what it's about, man. Like, even if you don't get everything you want, being heard, like, we've been heard and we're going to be heard again in 2020, And so, like, I was really proud of young people coming out and really being energized and speaking for themselves.
But, bro, back to the voter suppression, because like you said, I am very proud of just how well, people came out to vote across the nation. But what just blew my mind, just fundamentally, I just can't understand how you have a candidate who's in charge of the election. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. And then just the blatant, like, there was so many blatant signs of voter suppression.
Yep.
In 2018, when there's so much media coverage, it's just wild to see. It's either the 58th or 59th district in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. It is one of the top 10 biggest districts in the city.
Yep.
Bro, they had 3 voting machines.
Yep.
Bro, like, here in small town,
yep,
we had 5 or 6 in that one room. You have 3 voting machines. They said the lady said, and I believe she's a retired resident. She said when she came to get in line, she said the line was literally, not like exaggerating, literally so long she couldn't see the end.
Mm-hmm.
She said she was in line 5 hours to vote.
And
just watch, countless people walk away because like, who has the time in their day to sit in line for 5 hours?
And that's what they're betting on. That's exactly what they're betting on, is that you don't have the time to do. So what you're saying is, Kemp, the person, he was refereeing the game that he's playing in.
Right.
So
for those who don't know, Kemp is the Secretary of the State. And so
Secretaries of State control.
And he's also the chief election officer.
Yeah. But Secretary of State, like,
controls that, yeah.
Yeah, control it. And so what's so interesting about it is Stacey Abrams, that's been her lifelong thing, was voter suppression, getting out the vote, and also making sure that minorities had a voice in things. Like, that's what she's always done. She sued Kemp all the way back in 2016, 2014 for this same stuff multiple times. And you look at Kemp, once again, a very, like, Trumpian Republican. You saw his ad.
I mean, so for those of y'all who don't know, I'll probably post that as well. That ad he had for his primaries.
Yeah, this is for the primaries.
I mean, it literally looked like a Saturday Night Live, like, spoof.
Yeah.
It was just so out there. Like, it was just like, it was literally like, hey, Cowboys, I need y'all to come out and vote for me. Like, I was just like, what is wrong with him? Like, why would he run this?
And like, he put a shotgun to a little, like, a teenager boy, like, in the primaries. Like, that was one of his big ads. He cocked a shotgun towards a teenage boy that wanted to, like, I guess, date his daughter in the ad. And he was like, I believe in the Second Amendment. Like, at the teenage boy. Like, that's no bullshit. Like, that's you gotta listen, you gotta watch it.
I gotta find this.
It was on all the time. Trust me, I watch Family Feud, and these ads come on all the time.
Bro, you gotta think, every time I see stuff like that, it's not like me. Where with my podcast, I reach out to a few people. I have a few friends, of course, Raven, people who support me and help me. And, there's certain times where I just put stuff up like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I don't have a full office that has looked at something, nitpicked it, said, you need to wear this, you need to do that, and be like, oh, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Who in there? Like, who would think that's okay? Like, who would say, yeah,
So
yeah, that's
that's the thing. We're so disconnected from that like we don't even understand how much that appeals to those people.
There's people out there who saw it and was like, hell yeah.
Who love it, who were sitting on their couch. Bubba and some
Bro,
other
that's
people.
the equivalent of Stacey Abrams having an ad to like City Girls.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
like having people like turned up around her and been like, yeah, we out here.
Yeah, niggas unite. Like
Niggas,
that's
we
what,
own it.
That's what they basically said. It was like, hey, whiteys, get up off the couch. We got y'all. Like,
That's crazy.
But yeah. So I think we did exactly what we were supposed to do, and I think now at the end of the day, we gotta check and on the president, and I think it's already starting to frustrate him. I don't know if this goes into your second point about maybe the media coverage, but I think that he's definitely, you can see he's flustered, and he doesn't even know. So they have been in presidency, his administration have been able to do this without any type of friction. You know, like he's been able to do whatever he wanted without anybody pushing back on him. And he's had this much problems. Like he's had these many problems. Like he's been tripping up over himself. Now, when you are gonna get flooded with investigation after investigation, Benghazi damn near crippled Obama, and they were a great running administration.
Yeah, I mean, with all that stuff that he has going on, it is going to be crazy to see, like, now that they actually have some power to oppose him, it's crazy to see what's going to happen. Do you think they're going to play ball at all? Because they say there's two options the Democrats now have that they have some power within these checks and balances. They can either play ball and, you know, just have a bipartisan relationship going on where it's like, hey, you know, meet us halfway, or they can just fool off getting Trump's ass. And I mean, I think that's what's kind of been suggested is going to happen. But do you think there's any...
So what I think is going to happen, I think Democrats are a lot more reasonable with that type of thing. You know, so I think they're going to get an infrastructure bill done. I think that's a bipartisan thing. I think the progressive wing of Democrats, they want them to just obstruct. They want them to say whatever Trump says is wrong. Don't play ball. And so that is going to be tough because I think when they start running for the presidential election, people are going to be like, oh, you agreed with Trump on that. And, you know what I mean, I don't like that. You know, that type of thing.
And hold it against people.
So that's going to be tough. But I think they actually are going to play ball on some of these things. But I think they're also going to hold them to account. And so I think you can walk and chew gum at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, so
you're not restricted to
yeah, I don't think it's as binary as people want to frame it. I think they are going to investigate the shit out of a lot of some of the initiatives he's put forward. But I think they're also going to, when it makes sense, you know, help out the American people.
That makes sense. And that's what I would kind of expect as well. So it is going to be interesting to see how these 2 years progress compared to the past two and just see what happens.
Like, think about how messed up he's been just in 2 years with like everybody on his team.
Yeah.
Like how many missteps with the booming economy and with everything that he wanted that a president could ask for.
True.
And he's been like tripping over his own 2 feet. And now with like an opposition party, whew, he ain't ready for that.
He's not. It's going to, I'm excited because a lot of it, I think as hateful and hurtful as he can be and just I mean, woefully ignorant.
Yep.
There are certain things that you have to, like, you know, as a reasonable person, take your hat off and be like, you know, from the way he was able to brand himself and to just steal a whole base and appeal to, you know, an audience that nobody appeals to.
Yep.
I'm interested to see what he's going to do moving forward to I guess, maintain his strong ability and strong power that he's had recently. I don't know what it's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot of trolling, honestly.
What I'm nervous about is that with the natural fluctuation of the economy, and we've been, so the American economy is so big that it takes years for the things you do today to show.
So, yeah.
And so I think some of those things that he's been doing that have been negative are going to start showing. And so and then it's just natural. This is the longest recovery from a recession in history on record.
Yeah.
So when some of these things start dipping, I think he's going to blame it. He's going to blame it. Well, now we got, you know, beforehand when we had all Republicans,
we were good.
But it's a natural progression of this. Like, this is the longest recovery from a recession history. So what the hell's going to come next? Well, you know what's going to come next after your boom. It's going to go down. You know, it's just natural. economics. And so I'm nervous that they're gonna say, well, that's because we got, Democrats in, So that's what I'm nervous about.
Yeah. And one strategy that Trump has, with him being such an influential person, he tries to bully people.
Nigga.
And I mean, we're definitely going to talk about that lately, but there's another group out there that really likes to bully people and force them to not speak. And I want to address them, the Beehive. Because we going to get on Beyonce ass for sure.
Oh, you are.
Fuck that, I will.
You are.
Bro, so, a Senate seat in Texas would have been huge.
Yep.
Like, and I mean,
wait, you're not about to do this, are you?
Get on her ass.
Come on.
She was tripping, bro. Like, what is it Beto or Beto?
Beto O'Rourke.
Beto O'Rourke. He was running for the open Senate seat in the state of Texas
Versus Ted Cruz.
A fuck up. So, I mean, if there's any time to try and steal a seat in the Senate, it would be the perfect time. First off, seeing Ted Cruz, like, bow down to Donald Trump after they're back and forth.
Ooh.
Brother, I've never seen something like, that was it was just sad, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I feel bad for him.
You kind of felt bad for him.
He kneeled down and kissed the hand. And it's just like, this is sad, bro.
Yeah, like someone tells you your wife, like,
your wife is ugly.
Your wife ugly, and your dad tried to commit. Your dad was part of the assassination of JFK. Like,
bruh,
that's what he said to him.
Bro, like,
and your wife is ugly.
And you got to bow down and kiss the hand.
Woo,
bro.
boy.
But anyway, he ended up winning somehow. And I think one of the contributing factors was Beyonce waited until 4:30 on election day to endorse Beto. And it's just like, bro, okay, the polls close at 7.
Yeah.
But you ain't nobody tell you to do this like a week early. Like, you didn't think maybe, she's probably top 5 most influential women in the world.
Sure.
Probably top 10, I won't say top 10 people, but maybe top 15 people in the world. Like, bro, Beyonce said something, it's gonna impact all. It's impactful, bro. Like,
yeah.
Why would you wait until 4:30 p.m. on election day to be like, oh yeah, shout out to my boy?
I don't know that
in a damn trucker hat. Like, you didn't want to pop up at nothing. Like, you couldn't have sent us a little post a week, 2 weeks earlier. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know that I probably could disagree with you more. Like,
you disagree?
So with you putting this on Beyonce.
Bro, she's not the reason they lost, but she damn sure didn't help.
She did help.
No, the fuck she did. Well, nobody saw that on it. First off, the way Instagram works, you're not gonna see that hoe until tomorrow morning.
You think they got the algorithm for Beyonce ranked down?
It's fucked up. I'm sure.
With 120 million followers, you think?
I'm sure it's fucked up.
You think they got her ranked below me?
You probably would. I don't know how this algorithm works.
So, man, I saw.
I just seen Jeff Sessions got fired. That shit just came up on my timeline. My timeline is trash.
It's Sunday at 5:45 p.m. Jeff Sessions, I think, got fired on Wednesday.
That shit just came on my timeline.
So what I saw somebody post, like, voting was up like between 18 to 29 maybe in Texas, like 400% or something like that.
Bro, it's a lot of 30-year-old women that would have went if Beyonce had posted it.
So I think what happened with Beto O'Rourke in there, I think he maxed out. I think he got all the vote that was going to come out in Texas. Was going to come out in Texas. And I think Beyonce is not obliged to post for anybody. So you when you say, if she had did this, it's almost like it was an obligation of hers. Whatever she did was gravy. Like, she didn't have to do anything. And the reason why he was so close was because of young people and black women. So I just feel like to even slightly blame Beyonce, I just, Beehive, I'm with you. Okay,
niggas
just know
is
that.
so fake.
That.
My God.
Let me tell you something.
Oh
Beehive.
my God.
It's a message from
Hey,
Justin. I'm with you.
You're right. I'm gonna let you live. That's how you feel. I'm sure. I'm sure there's no sauce put on that. I'm sure that's exactly how you feel.
No, that actually is how I
okay,
feel.
Yeah,
but
I believe
Beehive,
you. I believe you.
Let me drop your address for the Beehive.
Hey, chill out. We get death threats.
Death threats. Hey, your show sucks. That's what the Beehive. You gonna get a letter.
Trash.
You let all these letters come in.
Bro, just be just shitting on me. I'm just happy Raven's not here.
I learned to never pick a fight with the Beehive. I would never do that.
So look, I feel like I've had so much progress with the Beehive because I'm not a member, but I respect them now. Whereas before that, I had a lot of slander. So but I'm very, I'm very supportive of the Beehive now.
Sure.
But y'all just really they haven't been tripping like they used to. because it used to be like
very nice.
this
and they're still
isn't
very
this
nice.
isn't my favorite Beyonce song. Bitch, die, you weak hoe, you stupid bitch. Like, I'm gonna get you fired. Like, it just used to be like so ridiculous.
Does
Like,
she have the strongest supporters?
I mean, outside of probably Trump,
That's what I'm saying. Who has
Yeah.
strongest supporters here?
the Beehive or Trump or MAGA,
Yeah.
Beehive or Team MAGA. Man, I don't know,
Ooh, that's a good
bro.
question.
That shit. Do you think
That's
there's any overlap there? There has to be somewhere.
Oh
bro.
man,
Bro, the overlap between Team MAGA and the Beehive is probably one of the craziest. Like,
I would love to see
groups of
how many
people.
people who are in both.
bro, it's
Is-
probably bigger than you think. Like,
I mean, it has to be because I don't think much. I don't think much. Because, I mean, you a strong supporter of black women and shit, and you also a supporter of Donald Trump, make America great again?
bro, I don't like. That would be a crazy. Like, that'd be a weird. I mean, but you gotta think. You saw the. I'm trying not to be negative. You saw those kids and young people who were at that Black MAGA rally.
Oh, yeah, true. And, I mean, my best friend is part of MAGA, and he loves everything else that I love. So it's guys, it's possible. It's very possible.
That's like that's wild.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
You said that kind of casually. And
Yeah.
how does that work? Like,
Yeah, who?
where y'all be having like heated moments?
You know me. No, so the thing is, we've never argued. I be on his ass. Like,
is
I
he
be-
just not get into it?
Well, he a lot of times is just like, you're right. Like, he's bullshitting. Like, you're right. Like, he's like,
You got it?
he's like, you are 100% right. I don't agree with that. Like, that's wrong. I don't agree with that. But yeah, like, it's, man, what's craziest about it is I take my frustrations out on him. I'm just like consistently.
It's your fault.
Yeah, I'm like, why do you like this guy? Like, what do you like? I'm just consistently frustrated. Every
So
morning.
what is the like overarching thing that allows him to support him if he disagrees with several things?
So, man, he's a really business guy. Like, and he lives in New York as well.
Oh, so it's good for big business.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, man, the business, all this other shit. And I'm just like, bro, like, you bullshitting, like, consistently. But yeah, so that's a thing, bro.
That's crazy. So this has been pretty politics heavy. So I'm trying to take a break.
Oh yeah,
Give
Right,
the
let's
listeners
get
a break
something
from
else.
that.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to talk because this week, I guess it kind of sparked from the. I think there's two things that have contributed to this for me. I recently saw The Hate You Give. It was a book I read, and it's a great movie. Y'all should go check it out. And I mean, it's a very relatable thing to today and what's going on. It's written in like current time. And it's very frustrating. It talks a lot about the things you have to sacrifice in your life as a person of color who is like, who's trying to achieve or trying to be successful in a world that is not catered to you. It talks about, suppressing who you are and sacrificing where you live and sacrificing part of your personality and just not being able to be true to yourself at all times. And that's just really one layer to the book. And that really spoke to me. And I do like the book more than I like the movie. So if you enjoyed the movie, definitely go check out the book. But that part really spoke to me. And then the results of the election, specifically where I live, and you can see the demographics. And then just going into work, I think I was a little more, I don't want to say sensitive, but I mean, that's definitely the word. A little more sensitive and a little more impacted by the small microaggressions that happens in my workplace and just probably in workplaces in general, especially in the South. And I mean, bro, I was just fed up. It was just really realizing that every day you go to work, you have to leave a part of yourself, like either your honesty or your personality at the door.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there's no person that tells you, you 1,000% have to do it, but you kind of taught that at some point in your life. And like, bro, that shit had it. Bro, I was fed up this week. Like, I took a day off. I was like, fuck this shit. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. So just to give you some context, I have like a really big, like a microcosm of like kind of how my life is. So I work at a tech startup, but it's within the finance industry. So it's called fintech, financial technology. And so you have a very liberal tech startup, but then you have financial advisors, fintech, people who are very
Super
big Trump,
conservative, yeah.
very big Trump supporters. And so it's a delicate balance, but what I kind of just like have gotten to the point where, I think it's just, I don't know, getting older, whatever it is. It's just like, I'm just finna be me. Like I'm really gonna be me. So and let me not even try to front like I don't bite my tongue.
Yeah.
Like of course, like you know what I mean. I don't say things to offend. But you know, like I'm not in the business of making you feel comfortable anymore. Like you know, like as Black people, we consistently have to make sure that this white person who we work with feels comfortable with who we like.
Was that a day one thing, or is that something you've grown to?
Oh,
like,
grown to no.
So what was that transition? Did you come in one day and just be like,
oh, so it was day one at this job.
Oh, okay.
But like it was definitely not a day. I mean, you knew me, man. Like
Yeah.
I was, you know what I mean? Like I was making these guys feel comfortable. They loved it. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
best friend?
Yeah, best
For
friend.
sure, the Black friend.
Yeah, the Black friend for them. And now I'm just like, you know, like, bro, I'm finna keep it real with you. Like I'm not gonna disrespect you or anything like that. But like, I don't need to change myself to make you feel comfortable. And if you say some shit that's out of line, like I'm never, you know, I can still deliver it in a way to where you understand it is tolerable. But like, I'm tactical, like on how I do it. But I'm not in the business of making another adult feel comfortable with who I am, you know?
See, and I guess that's what I have to do. I have to start working on ways to address it as soon as it happens, let them know, and move forward. Because what it is, I try and just put it off and stay out of the way until it gets to a point where I'm pissed, where I'm frustrated. And then I know I can't say anything because I'm gonna tell you suck my dick or something just super rude, like just something crazy. But one of the issues I have is in my workplace, there's a guy, and I'm gonna try my best not to describe him too well.
Yeah.
But he's originally a northerner.
Yeah.
And he's a human being, like he has his flaws, but he's somebody I know he has children that his wife's currently pregnant. He's about to have children. He's somebody who
I think that just gave it away.
Whatever. He's somebody who I know is intentionally making an effort in his life to make sure his children have a diverse background, a diverse understanding of the world. He wants to make sure he was asking me, like, you know what I'm saying, any kids to know, because he wants like his friends to have like little Black friends, you know?
Yeah.
He wants them to grow up and have a full experience and things. And I mean, he's always been super dope. Like if he sees anything, he has a problem with it, he's gonna speak up. He's actually, you know, a supervisor at my job. So I mean, I have anything bad I have to say about him are far and few between, even when we have like a conflicting you know, stance on things. But one of my guys in my job who's racist. He's racist.
Does he know he's racist?
The other guy?
The guy who's racist.
No.
Okay.
He doesn't know he's racist, and it's 2018 racist. Okay. So it's not like I want to hang you niggers, but it's just like he naturally sees himself a higher than a Black person. If it's a Black person in power, like his natural reaction is, oh, they just only have that position because they're Black, and you know, we need a token. Like that's the kind of stance, and that's how he feels about things. He would be insulted if somebody said that about him. But that's 2018 racism. That's how people are. Him and the guy I described, you know, earlier, are friends. Mm-hmm. And he's blind to the fact that, you know, that guy's racist. I have no clue how to tell him.
That's frustrating.
Like, it's not, I don't even know if it's I'm pretty sure it's not my place. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, I want him to know because he's somebody I know is invested in racism. I'm like, I don't know how to tell a white person. Like, I really don't even know how to talk to white people about racism.
You got to not talk specifically about that person. You got to talk in general about certain things, like about another person. Like
and
if this, like it's just, I mean, I do this with my friends often. You know what I mean? Like if they have a flaw that I don't necessarily like, I'll have them point it out in something else. You know what I mean? And so then it's like top of mind for them. Like if this person did this,
that works.
It does. Yeah. And so like I'll you know, just show them a story, and they're just like, oh yeah, that's wrong. And I'm like, yeah, like, and then like if a lot of times,
do you connect the dots?
So I mean, I'll hint at it, but you know, I got some really intelligent friends. So like,
and he's a pretty smart guy.
Yeah, when people are able to see that in something else, you know, I have faith in them a lot of times that it might not happen the first time, but if you like show them that multiple times, like, and they're like, that's racist, that's racist, that's racist. It's, you know, a lot of times they're able to say, oh shit, this is also racist.
Yeah, this has been right in my eyes.
This is also racist. Yeah. So that's how I've been able to do it. Is just like kind of take their pride out of it, kind of take that relationship, that bonding connection out of it, and just say like, identify these three things. Like, identify this. What would you call that?
Right.
And you know what I mean? They're like, they don't call that racist, of course. Like, it's so funny how people can do that when they're like disconnected from a situation.
Yeah, not so involved in
Yeah. So that's kind of the trick that I play, like with relationships. I get them to do that.
That's true. I might try that. And listeners, I know I have some white listeners out there as well. I'm not gonna shout out like full names because I was about to. But any white listeners I have who have, who think they would be open to that conversation or who've had a conversation with some of their friends of color, let me know, what you think would be most impactful if you were in that situation. And because I want to try and, be effective about it. I'm not really trying to like be an asshole about it, but.
So I had a white friend with 2015, still one of my really good friends. And he was like so conservative, like anti-Muslim, like this Trump shit is right, like kind of saying stuff that was disparaging about gay people, like, and I was just like, bro, like, you know what I mean? This isn't cool, like, and ultimately this guy now is so in the corner of like black people. He's made that much of a transition. This guy consistently is just like, bro, this guy got arrested for smoking weed. I get to walk down the street right now and smoke weed, and it's wrong. He's like, it's wrong that I get away with this, and he does not. He's like, you don't even, like, he told me one time, you don't even understand how bad this is. I said, bro, hold on, bro. Like, he's like, bro. I'm like, man, come on now. Like, I
just slow down.
Yeah, I'm like, I understand. So, but like, that was such a process to get him there. And like, I worked on him so long because it was just like, I realized it was 2015 racism. It wasn't like he wanted to be racist. Like, it was just so ingrained in him. Like,
in him and his experiences.
Yeah. And so like, when you start really showing people like all these diverse experiences and they're just like, oh, these people are like me. Oh, this, you know what I mean? Like, these situations, they still do the same things that I do. They're still as smart as me. They still have the same capacity as me. When you see that, like, I have faith in a lot of the people that I deal with that when they're exposed to these things, that they can evolve. Like, there's just certain people that can't. But like, if you really believe in a person, then, a lot of times they can show you better.
Excuse the term, but nigger fishing.
Ooh.
Like, this just, it was just so hard.
They make you cringe immediately.
It's like, whatever it is, I don't like it. Like, off the top, I don't even know what it is. Yeah, fuck that. But nigger fishing is the trend.
Oh, shit. My bad, y'all.
Nigger fishing is the trend that's been, an ongoing thing. I know in the fashion world, everything has just been highlighted, I guess, more recently and giving a specific term, but it's just the practice of, I don't know if it's restricted to white women, but I'll just say white people, using cosmetics to darken their skin to appear black.
Yep.
And I'm not defending it. Like, I don't care enough to defend it, but I am confused on what is the line between nigger fishing and tanning. It does get easier as you say it more.
Yeah.
Like, do you think there's like, it's just, people have been going off about it, but I was like, I've been seeing like plenty of, people tanning, and looking not white. This
is a very recent thought. I just had this as you were saying it, but when did tanning, like, what was the purpose of tanning originally? Like, you trying to get darker, right?
I mean, honestly, I can understand people not wanting to look pale because sometimes people look sickly.
Yeah, they do, but like, they're trying to look darker even just with tanning. But then again, some black women tan. Now that I think about it, but yeah. So that is a fine line, I guess. But these women, it's no mistake in it. The women that we saw, they were trying to appear black.
So nigger fishing is like the next level. Like, tanning is probably already problematic.
Yeah.
But do the Kardashians tan or are they nigger fishing? Like,
oh, bro, the Kardashians are the like quintessential case of nigger fishing, because it's not just about the tan. It's about the lips. It's about the ass. It's about the hips. All of that. It's trying to look like a black woman.
Bro, you've gotten really aggressive. I wish people could see how you're holding the mic.
I'm like, bro. So I feel two ways about it. One, I'm frustrated by it, but two, I mean, even though I'm not a black woman, I feel like imitation is the serious form of flattery.
Yeah.
And like, black women, y'all gotta feel like y'all the shit for like y'all have this whole group of people trying to be like y'all, trying to look like y'all, trying to date y'all's men because you know what I mean? Like y'all the shit. Like that's how I feel, the flattery portion. But then I feel like kind of frustrated. I'm like, y'all bullshitting. Like y'all out here like trying to be someone you're not and trying to make it seem like it's, matter of fact, to answer your question, it's not just white women, because Dan, my nigga Dan.
Oh, Dan Rue.
Dan Rue, he is a white boy. Like, and he's out here not looking like that.
Bro, I mean, I'm really surprised that he was allowed to just stay around in general this long, because like I told you, like when he was dropping the N-word on the regular and people finally were like, one of his personal homeboys in New Orleans was like, bro, you're not black. Stop saying that. Mm-hmm. And he was really insulted. He was like, bro, I've been saying it. Like, that was his reasoning. And they were like, bro, you should stop.
You should stop. I'm going to tell you something, bro. You better rate this drink pretty high. It's hidden.
It is hidden.
It's hidden, boy.
A little too hard.
Yeah, it's hidden. But nah, like that's how so man, it was a whole, what you want to say, like 20 women, 30 women, just Instagram models, famous, like fringe famous women who just nigga fished. Yeah. Like, you know, wait a minute. Is that like, I feel like that's a double entendre as well. Nigga fishing. Like catfishing.
And then fishing for that.
You're fishing for niggas at the same time. Like, that's
double entendre. Don't even ask me how.
Don't even ask me how. Like, damn, nigga fishing is slick hard now. Like,
you slick fucking with it.
Yeah, I'm slick fucking with it now. That's a double entendre. Bruh, these niggas is smart.
Bro, isn't that like a shame that people do not get like any credit with social media? Like,
none.
I mean, that term is somebody came up with it and it's gone. Like, you're never gonna be relevant for that.
Every single thing is like it's crowdsourced. Like, but no, I created this shit. Like, I created this. Real quick tangent. Do you remember, speaking of work, I randomly text you. I was like, bro, do you ever like be trying to get credit for something at work and you can't get credit for it? Bro, at work, man, I will literally like, somebody be like, yeah, that was a good idea. Like, run with it. Then like we'll get to a point, be like, man, this is working so well and shit. And I'd be like, y'all know who like started this, right?
Me.
Like, I'm just like, that's a very big conundrum for me. Like, how do you like say that? Like, hey, this was my idea, like without saying this is my idea, like give me my credit. You know what I mean? So like that's random, but like that's
bro. So with me, I don't think that's like ever happened much at work, because if I come up with an idea, I'm gonna send out to the whole team.
Sure.
Like, hey, this would be dope. Like, I don't really even leave room for chance, but I know it's happened to my girl.
Yeah.
And bro, Ray was telling me that story and she was hot. Like, cause it was very much so like they have a weekly meeting that, you know, I think has been a little stagnant. And so she was suggesting, you know, inviting whoever this person was going to really be impactful. And she was like, I think it'll be great. Sure. And it'll be, you know, good for both sides, both parties. And so the person came in, whoever it was, and spoke and did a really good job at their team meeting. Everyone loved it. Her supervisor and her supervisor both stood up and was like, thank you. This is so important. I'm glad we thought of this. And blah. And bro, she said, like, first off, I know how extra she is. Yeah. And I can tell from the way she was telling the story, she was like looking around the room like, nigga, like, bro, you know. And so like every time she tells me a story, I'm just like, I'm so happy she didn't lose her job that day. Because I for sure thought, like, when she told me the story, this was going to end badly.
Yeah.
But nah, it would have me hot. I couldn't deal with that.
And so like being in marketing and like the innovative like thinker.
Oh yeah,
so like I think of I'm the idea man. So,
but I can't imagine in marketing your idea. It's not like I work in the tech world, so it's like my idea is probably not innovative. It's probably a way to improve our process or something. For you, your idea is literally what everybody came there to do today.
Yeah.
Nah, I would lose it.
And so like when people forget who, I'm just like, man, I don't want to be like that guy, but like,
nah, I would have been.
Hey, bro, like, hey, you remember who decided to do this? Like, I'm like, y'all, how do I let y'all know without having to nigga fish y'all niggas? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm slick finna start using that nigga fishing.
Yeah. I mean, the term has definitely grown on me in the past like 2 minutes.
This nigga trying to nigga fish. Just dropping that whole in.
Yeah, it does feel good.
It does feel good.
And another thing I want to talk about was Taylor Rooks. For the listeners that aren't, I guess, familiar with her, Taylor Rooks
Your
is
girl.
she's a sports, I don't know if it's anchor, but broadcaster.
Yep.
She covers, I think,
Correspondent.
I think she's covered, I know she's covered football and basketball, but I think right now her focus is on basketball. She formerly worked with the Big Ten Network, Sportsnet, and CBS. But
Do you know how old she is?
she was born in 92, so
Oh, shit.
26-ish.
I thought she was older than that. Damn.
Very pretty young lady by any like stretch. Like, I mean, I think she's universally really attractive.
Yep.
And she works currently for Bleacher Report.
Mm-hmm.
And so what she's been doing, I think what she's been seeing the most more recently is from her podcast. And so you kind of got the vibe that she's getting now from the same thing that she's doing, or you get the vibe that you get the same vibe, from what she was doing with her podcast as you do now with her interviews with Bleacher Report. She goes around to different teams and does media coverage and just, has like one-on-one interviews with the players. And she's very knowledgeable in the sport. She's not like, she doesn't deserve to be insulted at all for like any lack of knowledge on the sport. She does a really good job, great coverage, asks great questions. Like I don't really have any knocks on her.
Yep.
But what we have to realize is in sports, it's such a young man's game now, like especially basketball. Like a lot of times the best players on these teams are 20 and 21 years old. And so a lot of them just don't have that composure. Or even maybe some of them do, and you just get to see them in their rawness. But when I tell you Taylor Rooks has so many of these athletes flustered that they really just be saying shit. Like,
Shook.
bro, and so most recently went viral is she had an interview with one of the better players for the Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown. She asked him, he's currently, I think, 23.
Yeah.
And she was like, by the time you're 30,
28.
28.
I feel to say 28.
by the time you're 28, how many championships are you going to have? He said 5. I just want that to sink in. 5, meaning he's going to go 5 for 5. The Warriors, who are like,
So he's 22. So he was saying he was going to go 5 out of 6.
5 out of 6. So he
Yeah.
gave himself one off year.
He's from Marietta, Georgia. Damn. Right there.
That explains it. That explains it. So basically, he started rubbing his knees. He's like, yeah, about 5. And like everybody in the sports world was like, all right, come on, dog. Like 5.
Yeah.
And so everybody attributes to, it's just like how when you be around a fine girl, you just be lying. And,
Yeah.
and that's what he was doing. Because the Warriors, who are like revered as one of the most talented teams ever,
Of all time.
are currently, 3 out of 4. Let's say they win this year. That's 4 out of 5. And then everybody knows somebody has to go. Like just like financially and just the way the pieces work, they're going to have to lose a big piece. So you are already saying, bar none, this one year I would assume is the year that he feels like they're going to lose, or he thinks they're going to win this year.
He thinks they're going to win 5 out of 6 somehow. I don't know how it's structured for him, but 5 out of the next 6 are his.
Do you think it's more of him having a false sense of confidence, or do you think he was like, you think the Taylor Rooks effect happened?
Oh, he was shook. Like,
Yeah,
I
like-
mean, if that was an old white lady, like, he wouldn't have been doing all of that shit. Like, he's what, like I said, 22, and he just turned 22, and she is, what did you say, 26?
Yeah.
Like, so that's a beautiful upperclassman. Like, that you're trying to impress. You know what I mean? You're a
Slick.
freshman, she a
Yeah,
senior, and he's trying to impress her. Like, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna
A
get
5
about
or 6.
5.
I'm gonna be the MVP out of Kyrie. Forget him.
You like him?
Jason Tatum.
I mean, he's straight.
He cool.
He
but,
cool.
But some people say he be crying too much.
You know what I'm saying? He always hurt.
He
You
always
seen me last year. You didn't see me?
Yeah. So that's what he was on. Like
Right.
Coach say, I'm gonna be the number 1.
Lost in the sauce, bro.
You could tell, and everybody just talking about him rubbing his knee the whole time.
Bro, he
Like,
had that I'm lying
yeah,
rub, bro.
just
Like,
I'm lying. I don't even believe what I'm saying, but you're beautiful, and I'm trying to impress you.
bro, have you ever seen her interview with Michael Beasley?
Oh yeah, he's
He's
slow.
an idiot.
He's slow,
but he was
yeah.
lost in the sauce too.
Yeah.
Like, and then
I don't know if he's just slow or he's lost.
well,
in the
it's
sauce.
funny because it's one of those things that we have to work on as men as far as just like having conversation with women and just having like conversations. This is not every time isn't, you shooting your shot. And with her, typically with the NBA players, that's how it comes off.
Yeah,
And so what was funny is Michael Beasley is an idiot.
yeah.
But he had that. Let me school you real quick, baby. Let me explain this to you.
Yeah.
Like he had that kind of sauce he was trying to give her.
I remember
and
that.
sounded crazy with his wristwatch on his ankle.
Oh, he had multiple wristwatches on.
Maybe one on each ankle or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
I was just like, dude, it's crazy. Like, what is?
So
Imagine having a Rolex on your ankle.
on your ankle, bro. Like, you really high, bro. You high. Like,
What was he telling her that the world was the Earth was square?
Maybe.
Or flat?
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. But he just was like, I'm like, bro, y'all really sound dumb being this
Sound
confident.
idiot. Like he really had that. No. I gotta explain it to you.
I gotta
Hold on.
explain this to
I understand.
you.
I know you don't understand this, baby.
Yeah, like so. But you're right though. I think men have to do that better in general. But I think specifically within sports, it's even more so like that because they used to getting every woman that they want. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
So, like,
So that's just arrogance.
Yeah, so like I know you want me. Like, you know what I mean? I know you beautiful. I'm an NBA
I'm me.
player. Yeah,
I'm me.
I'm me. So like I know you want me. So it's like in general we got to get better than that. But like especially in sports, it's probably pretty tough
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
it's probably terrible.
Yeah.
But also keeping it a buck, we're having a pretty good episode. I'm glad you're here. But I'm gonna be real with you. This is probably the last episode you're gonna be on, just because I can't fuck with you like that no more,
What you mean?
bro. Yesterday we did the wing challenge.
Woo!
Oh my god.
Still recovering.
Bro, for those that aren't familiar, you should look up Hot Ones. It's a series that Complex has where they interview, and it's becoming pretty big. Like most people stop there on their press runs now.
Yep.
It's a series. What's the host name?
Sean Evans.
Sean Evans. He sits down with different guests, and they
Watch the DJ Khaled episode.
Oh yeah, that's a great place to start, and then you followed up with Yachty. But they converse over different levels of hot wings, and they have like the hot sauce present, and they'll show you when they're going up a level. But I mean, when you see it, people are so extra and dramatic that you just assume I'm straight, and I'm Nigerian, so I'm like super confident.
Yeah.
This ain't no Agbano soup.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you. That shit was different.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I made it 9 out of 10, which is very disappointing. I was mad that I didn't make it to the 10th one.
Yeah.
And I could have, like, in the sense that I could have, like, got it into my mouth. Not in the sense that, like, I would have been straight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, no matter what you drink, no matter what you eat, it's just there. And it just keeps getting hotter and hotter, bro. And I was sweating, bro. And it was just like, hey, this shit ain't for play.
Yeah. So I hope you take a little bit of pride in this, is that I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 friends. None of them have been able to finish. And you're the second Nigerian. We had a Persian. And then, a white guy who didn't make it far at all. So that hot wing challenge is fun, and it's not so fun at all.
I was saying that shit was not fun.
It's not. So like I said, it was the coolest thing being able to do that. We did it as part of our press run for the my CEO. He put out a book, and so I was able to interview my CEO. Usually ask him 10 questions with 10 hot wings, and just to give you some context, the 10th one. So the hottest of fresh jalapeno is hottest. It's Scoville units is how you measure it. It's at 5,000 Scoville units. The 10th wing is at 357,000 Scoville units. So
I couldn't do it, bro. I wanted to so bad.
307,000 units hotter than a fresh jalapeno. If you took a bite into that, that's what that hottest wing is on. And so it's not pleasurable at all. But what it does is it lowers. So the coolest part about that show is people try to come on there, and their first couple of wings, they got this facade.
They're confident.
They got that facade of like they're, most famous people, they're playing a role, especially entertainers. And so they're playing a role. They're like, I'm DJ Khaled, I'm Lil Yachty, whatever it is. And by you get to 6 and 7 wings, that falls out, and you find out who the real person is. And that's what's so cool about it, as they're asking them those deep questions. And so they're vulnerable. And so I think that's really cool. I was able to have a really vulnerable moment with my CEO. And I was like, I was looking across from him. I'm like, he's sweating. He ended up vomiting. And it was just like, who else gets to do this? So it was pretty privileged. I think I'm the new Sean Evans, as a matter of fact. Justin Sean Evans Woods. That's my name.
So initially I thought about doing it live on air and recording as we did it. But I just feel like I'm just going to cuss a million times and scream. And I mean, that's very accurate to what happens. So,
yeah.
I mean, it'll be some clips out there. Raven recorded, of course. She just loves to see me struggle.
In my 6th time doing it, I still ran outside in the freezing cold You didn't know that, did you?
I saw you leave, but I wasn't concerned.
I did like.
I was not concerned. I was like, bro, if he gotta go, I gotta go. Like whatever he's doing.
I did sprints, and I was like hurting. Like like you said, it's residual. We had Hawaiian bread, honey, milk, almond milk, water, and ice cubes, whatever we needed, and it was hurting. It was hurting.
Bro, I was really mad. I think that's the feeling that I was most surprised about. It was a real frustration and anger with the fact that it doesn't go away.
And every
like
time
30
you think
minutes
it goes
later,
away.
an hour later, you still feel it getting hotter.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, what the fuck? Like, why is this still happening?
Yeah.
And I just kept asking that out loud. Like, I just was like, this doesn't make sense. Like, I went to bed angry.
So look out for the clips. It's funny / not funny on our end. It hurt. It was really painful. This is a whole 24 hours later, and I'm still hurting. So, our loss is your gain.
Right. We got the holiday season coming up. You have anything dope or like? Have you done dinner? Have you done like Thanksgiving dinner? Are you gonna do that with your girls' people?
No. So what I'm looking forward to most is obviously one of our good friends, C Real. He's getting married.
Club
man.
Rocker.
Club Rocker. Like that's my main man, and like obviously you were able to see it even earlier on, but just
That's gonna be a lot. That's gonna be a movie.
See their relationship and to get it to this point, it's amazing.
Why are you talking like that?
Because I'm like excited. Like I'm excited. I like weddings, bro. I'm that guy the one guy like I like this. Like
yeah. And then literally the following week at the same very location, AC from the After 5 podcast, he's getting married too. So it's gonna be lit.
Yeah.
Right after Thanksgiving, that's gonna be turned.
Man, I love this time of year, man. Like just family, food. I get to put on the extra pounds, put a hoodie on it, and keep it pushing. You know what I mean? Like it gets dark, I get to go home and go to sleep. Like I don't have to try to look good for the beach. None of that. Like I'm just like, forget it. I'm just eating as much as I want. I get to hug my mom as much as I want. Like so, like I really am, and go see lights. It's a nostalgic family type of time of year, and I love the holiday season.
Do y'all have potlucks for like the holidays?
Yeah,
at work?
Yeah.
What's your strategy going into those?
So I work at basically an all-white company.
Right.
So, you gotta like really be careful about what you're eating.
Oh, and then, bro, I 1,000% understand.
It's like you can eat some trash that people think is great.
Yeah.
So like I kind of like go towards when people like, oh, I just got this fried chicken from Kroger. Okay, I trust that. You know what I mean? Like, even though that's not what I want,
I can do that.
I can do that. But like, if you got some freaky, macaroni, like we always joke about it, just throwing raisins in some shit. Like I'm like, no. Like, every time I'm like, no. And this Barbara comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, have you tried it? I'm like, yeah, Barbara. Like,
Fire.
You're the best.
Bro, I got a couple strategies. Like for one, you have to, if it's possible, you got to get on the committee.
Oh yeah, 100%.
If that's even an option, get on the committee off top.
Yep.
But I'm not on the committee in my job because HR pretty much does it. But
Sure.
So if they typically will cater the main stuff like the turkey and dressing.
Oh,
cool.
you
You already
already
know you're there, and then everything else like sides wise is potluck style. So number one, whatever you like the most, you either cook it yourself or get like somebody you trust. You're like one of your people to cook it.
Yeah.
You're good. Then your one or two people at work that you mess with, they clean, they can probably cook. You get their stuff. From there, I don't fuck with none of that shit. I skip like 70% of the table. Especially because, and then what I tried to get them and what we did one year, I was like, oh, we should make it a contest. I only wanted a contest so you can put your names on your shit. Yeah. So I know to skip the people who don't wash their hands.
That was strategic.
But you really have to have a strategy
really
going into it.
That was really good.
Because, if you've gone to the bathroom and just seen,
man.
people will walk the fuck out with no problem.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, you're going to cook something.
Yeah.
I'm straight.
And that's a good point. I tell you what, most of the time I focus on flavor, but that's a good point. Just cleanliness. Just,
hell no, bro.
Are you even clean? But yeah, no, I try like a lot of people's stuff just to make them feel good, but I'm probably risking my health.
Bro, if you're not a supervisor, and if you're a supervisor, it'll be minimal. But if you have any stall to door action, I don't speak to you no more.
Oh, sure.
Stall to door action, meaning if you leave the stall and go straight to the door,
Mm-hmm.
that's a different level of disgusting. I can't fuck with you. Like,
Yeah.
you're already nasty if you just hit the urinal and dip out. But if you like,
okay.
if you drop the deuce and then
bro. Hey, Slick, we can't even be friends.
I can't fuck with
You
you
a
at
different
all.
type
Like,
of nigga.
you a
like,
savage.
You really nasty, bro.
Like I can't get down with that at all.
Yeah. I don't mess with that. So like, and then you think about this, people making your food, like, you know what I mean? Like, I eat the potluck stuff, but like, if I know that as like background, nah.
I can't. But I mean, bro, I don't. So once you hit a company or an office that's over like 50 people, you don't know. Like, there's so many people
sure.
you don't really know.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't rock with it at all. I'm super selective, and people notice it.
Yeah.
They're like, you're a picky eater. Because I'm a bigger guy, so people are like taking back my like, you don't really eat anything. I'm like, yeah, man, super picky. Like, I'm not fucking with your shit.
I like, you know what I like? I like getting I like eating the white girl stuff that has a black boyfriend. I don't know if you guys got any of those at your office, but like,
we probably have a few, but I don't know.
So
like,
when I know those type of things, I'm like, yeah, you already pre-approved. You know what I'm saying? Like, you good. Like, I got somebody who already done checked your shit
and made
like,
sure it was acceptable.
You good. So like, those people, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go. You good? You checked off. But like, then I end up usually trying older people stuff too, because like I be trusting, like, even if it's an older white woman, I be trusting her stuff most of the time. Like, older white Southern woman, I'm like, she could be Paula Deen. Like, you know what I'm saying? She might hate niggas, but she might put a lot of butter in her shit. It might taste
bro,
good.
have you ever seen Cedric the Entertainer's skit on Paula Deen?
Was he not in Nashville with that?
Yeah. With TSU's band and everything.
I think that's crazy. Yeah,
Bruh,
but yeah, I seen it.
That shit had me dying.
Why was he in Nashville?
I don't know. Shout out to the Ville.
Shout out to the Ville, 615, baby.
Oh, shout out to them Titans. Shout out to Nate B from the After 5 podcast. Huge Patriots fan. Take that L, nigga.
Take that.
Oh man, have you been on any dope movies, new music, or books or anything?
Oh, so movies wise, the only movie I've seen recently is Halloween. I think me and you were talking about it.
You said it was good?
It was actually good. And so with the context that I have seen all the Halloween movies recently, as you know, obviously we're in October. Yeah. And so like, this one is clearly the best. It's even got a huge plot twist, which these things are pretty simple on plot.
Is he gonna take the mask off?
It's a huge plot twist.
Okay, I'll wait for it. I'll look into it.
And I cannot wait. Me and you were talking about, I cannot wait to see Widows.
Oh, Widows looks heat.
Widows is gonna be absolute heat. Viola Davis, Paperboy, the boy from Get Out /
bro, Dan, I really gotta learn these names.
Bro. / the dude from Black Panther who turned on Black Panther.
Yeah.
Asshole. Like, after one day, because he couldn't get the white dude.
Yeah, bro was tripping.
Yeah, he was tripping. So like, I can't wait to see that. But I saw Halloween was a good movie. I can't wait to see Widows. Books wise, I'm reading right now The World as It Is. It's like a 400-page book, which I normally don't do, but it's from Obama's like main speechwriter in national security.
Is that one of the guys
council.
from the Positive America?
Yeah. So like, and he went to actually school really quickly. He went to school to be a creative writer. So like,
whoa,
he's like even though it's like
still
real
writing,
stuff,
but
even though it's like stuff that we know, like this is what we thought about Syria. So that's already cool. Like the thought process that went into it in the background, but like he's a great writer. So it's like, it's almost like a novel. Like I want to keep reading it.
Yeah.
So like it's interesting. So I love that book. What you got going on? It's called The World as It Is.
The World as It Is. I'll look into that. Bro, movies wise, I said the Hate You Give, which is really good. I read the book first, and I mean, as an adaptation of the book, it's pretty flawed. I'm probably gonna sit down with Raven and have like some type of bonus content where we discuss it, because the book was amazing. Yeah, and the adaptation of it as a movie, it leaves out a couple of struggles and a couple of key points that I know probably just lengthwise it was difficult to try and bring that all together. But
how long was the book?
Maybe 300 pages. Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
It was a long read, but I mean, it was.
Is this a real story or no?
No.
But it is a real story at the same time.
Yeah, I
like,
mean, it's every day in America pretty much. And it just layers on things that I didn't think about. Like you hear a lot of, and it's typically people who come from some sort of privilege who say, why is the racism discussion happening now? Like it's never been a thing. And if you really think back to it, like as a person of color or a minority, you always knew it was a thing, but it was never like a school thing. Like it was never like I go to school and we discuss this type of situation. It never really separated me at school. Like in my school, people from all types of backgrounds and,
MLK?
Yeah, and economic backgrounds, racial backgrounds, religious backgrounds. All of us were friends. Like it really was like that. And so to think of now, with it being an academic magnet and having really smart kids, thinking about it now, where you're gonna be like, we were always aware of politics and things that were going on. So I think it would be crazy now to have to be that age and like it be right in your face of everybody.
Yeah.
So where's a discussion point? So it explores like growing up in the hood. I mean. Police brutality, just all that. And it's like, it's a really present day story for things that as an adult you don't think about, but you can probably empathize with at the same time.
Yeah.
So that was a dope movie. TV, I'm watching The Sopranos. I'm an HBO
Oh, yeah, you
thought.
just started.
Yeah, I'm an HBO
Sopranos.
thought. So
How far? You season 1, right? You still season 1?
I'm at the top of season 2.
Ooh, you've been flying through.
Bro,
How long was it 30 or hour episodes?
Bro, they're long. So it's kind of like Game of Thrones, where I think it's regularly 45 minutes to an hour. But like if it's a big storyline issue going on or a big conflict being addressed, it'll be an hour and a half. Like, bro, this shit is crazy, but it's really well written. And there's so many metaphors. Like it's just like The Wire, where I know I'm gonna have to watch it 2 or 3 times because you watch it one time just to get the general like story. Then you watch the second time to see like, maybe it's a modern day version of Shakespeare, or just the metaphors. Like, bro, it's so hard. Like, HBO, that's something I always have. Like, they gonna always get my money, bro.
I rock with HBO too.
And then, bro, I've been reading Americana for I don't know how long.
Oh shit, you have been.
Bro, I don't know how long I've been reading
Americana
And,
for
like, if I showed you how far I would be, it's so sad. But I'm gonna finish that. Hopefully, I want to finish that this month.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try and get the Alchemist in this month too. Like I started the year off so well. I think I did like 4 books in January and then like 3 in February. And then like, bro, maybe in March or April I started Americana. So like,
damn, nigga,
bro, no, I've been maybe not March, April, but for sure before the summer.
Yeah.
Like I was reading it all through the summer and like, it legit is not, bro. Like, shout out to Kayla. My sister Kayla's been asking me like, bro, I'm trying to read the book. Yeah. Like, let me get it. And I'm always like, yeah, I'm going to finish it for you.
Yeah.
She's read like 3 books since then. And it's like, my nigga, like, are you going to read it or just give it up? And I'm being an asshole because I really should just pass it, but I'm trying to finish it, bro.
All right. Is this your best reading book? I mean, best reading year of your life or what?
I mean, no. At one point, reading was like.
Was life.
Yeah, reading was life.
Yeah.
But I mean, probably in my adult life.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure. So I'm probably at like 10 or 12 books this year.
Bro, this is probably I'm the most proud of myself I've ever been. Like, I'm never proud of myself.
You've been going ham.
Bro, like, I don't even want to say, I've read 47 books this year. And I never have been a reader, bro. Like, I've never been, like, even when I was, like, in high school, childhood, like, when everybody was reading Harry Potter, it was never my thing. And, like, I just literally said, you know what? I'm about to read 50 pages every day for like the rest of the year. And like that started in like February. So I'm just gonna read 50 pages. So it was like, I'm gonna do 50 push-ups every day for the rest of the year. Yeah. See where I get. And like, bro, like I've just been like cranking them out. And it's just like, this is the most proud of myself I've been about some shit.
Was that Abraham Lincoln book you read? Was that this year?
Oh yeah.
I remember that being the one that was like, all right, this shit is hard.
Bro, like that shit was like 600, 700 pages.
Yeah, fuck
I'm
that.
like, bro, and that's not me. And it's not a narrative. It's real life. And like, that's what makes it probably even worse for me. I'm not reading like, you know what I mean, novels. Like, I'm not reading fun shit. Like, and I wish I kind of were, but like, I end up getting, it's crazy. I end up getting like distracted when I read novels.
Oh yeah, your mind like wanders. Something.
Yeah.
In my mind, so that's one thing I'll say about The Hate You Give. I'm always disappointed by movie adaptations because the picture I paint in my mind is the shit. Like, ain't no budget. Like, I got whatever actor. Like, I don't even have an actor. I have this person that I have created that is this person. But The Hate You Give bodied that shit.
Ooh.
Like, the way I envisioned the house that they had was perfect.
Yeah.
The actress was spot on. And then there's sometimes like people you just aren't main characters that you don't really invest that time into. And one of them was a lawyer, and they had Issa Rae, and I was like, damn.
Issa Rae was in the movie?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's, I mean, bro, they
Shout out to Issa Rae.
they did a pretty good job with the movie. I can't shit
Where's
on
she
them.
from in Africa?
Issa Rae?
Yeah, I want to say she's like East African. Like, I want to say she says like,
Bro, I'm pretty sure Issa Rae's from like L.A.
yeah, of course, nigga, she's from LA. Where's her family from? That's
Like her, like she's like second generation American?
yeah, I thought so. Maybe
Bro, I really think Issa Rae is like a hood nigga, bro.
I don't think so, bro. I mean, she is, but like I feel like her family's from something.
I don't think they are. Let's see.
Please don't let me be wrong. Please don't let me be wrong.
Ray's birth name, Joe Issa, comes from a combination of the names of her grandmother's Joyce and Iseu. So that might
Come on, baby.
Ray. I mean, like, this nigga's not.
I want to say her dad is like.
Oh, so her dad is from Senegal.
Thank you, God. I did not want to be wrong on air. Whew.
Yeah, and her mom is she's from Louisiana. Oh shit, and her parents met in France when they were both in school.
Damn, that's some good shit right there.
Yeah.
And she went to like Harvard, if I'm correct.
Oh, she lived in Senegal for a minute during her childhood.
Really? So yeah.
And then her father started a medical practice in Inglewood.
Hey,
That's a wild story.
hey,
Like,
but
that's a wild life.
Let me tell you something. I was gonna say this as you were saying about MLK, bro. Diversity is so big. Like growing up, and like I realized that a lot of who I am is a testament to being around diverse, eclectic, like people in my youth. Like it's crazy,
Bro, to go back and harp on a previous conversation we had, it's so important because of like, that's one of the small things that give you power in life that you don't realize. Like, I've never thought my life of my experience of diversity gave me this power and one up on people. I just never really thought about it. Bro, there's this guy at my job, and he really is like the source of all my annoyances at work. He is, I mean, he's a minority. He's not black, but he's a minority.
Yeah.
And so, because my coworkers didn't grow up with a sense of diversity, he's kind of the gatekeeper to like bullshit. Like anytime like there's an offensive joke or anything happens in the media, if he's okay with it, he opens like the floodgates.
Yeah.
For them, because they have no sense of diversity to say this is wrong, this is right.
Yeah.
He is really their North Star. And bro, he be pissing me off, bro. Like the
He be
joke,
messing it up for you.
oh my God, like shit that they would never say because they think, oh, that could be offensive. He's
Yeah.
like, oh no, it's fine.
Yeah.
And so now they're like, oh, if he says it's okay, fuck it.
But like you're right, it's a power, man. Like having that diversity, and I never realized it. And what it does more so than anything is it allows you to connect with so many different people. It allows you to like identify like with so many different people's struggles, and what they're going through. It's because you've like experienced it with so many like different variations, and like I think diversity. I never realized like. I don't even think my mom was like making a conscious effort to like give me a diverse upbringing.
Right.
But like it's what's allowed me to thrive and like what's allowed me to like think outside of just this narrative or just this upbringing. So I think diversity that's one of the things I'm going to try to do with my child as well.
But also, I definitely, before we close, definitely want to give a shout out to a new podcast, the Red Couch Chronicles. This week they launched their pilot episode and they introduced who they are, and they also touch on a few topics such as ghosting, cuffing season, dancing in a club in today's age, and flourishing young kings. Oh, that's lit.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah. They also try and give you something to give you through the week with their Everything is Everything segment. And they just are really thankful for all their listeners. They launch every Sunday. I know their pilot episode is up now. Definitely go check them out. It's the Red Couch Chronicles, and you can find them on SoundCloud. Bro, I'm ready for ads. That was so good. I mean, it's going to definitely require some editing. I'm ready to start getting them ads off.
Yeah.
But I definitely got to get into this drink rating. Like you said, the mirror.
Yeah.
Meaning that technically, this is partially me too. So, I mean, it's already starting off at a 9. But the blended is hard. Like, the drink blended is super hard. But with the mango being in there, mango is such a subtle fruit. We probably should have added like a sweetener in there.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you said, I'm like a contributor on this. So 9.5 for sure.
The mirror effect, law number 5. on the 48 Laws of Power. I don't know if it's 5.
But it is heat though. That's something I learned when I was not really drinking sodas and stuff. Something that you can do in your like drinks when you're drinking is freeze your fruit and give it a little flavor to it. And it's pretty dope. So 9.5. As always, I gotta thank the guests. Appreciate you, Woods, for coming through, bro.
I mean, thanks for having me. Like I said again, bro, it's always great to have these conversations with your good friends, bro.
Definitely is fun. It's something I really enjoy doing every week. So it's always good having more people. And I think I'm going to have another repeat guest next week with a little bit of a twist. I won't go too far into that in case they cancel on me.
That's always a real threat.
Oh, yeah. It'll definitely happen because they're going to be lit this weekend. But we'll see. Definitely as always have to thank the listeners. Please continue, like I said, to spread the word and share it. I'm going to be doing some cool things on social media. And I have a really cool end of the year wrap up or review or whatever everybody's calling it. So be on the lookout for that. I think that's going to be really fun. And
check out the hot ones. See us struggle, laugh your ass off. What I told you. Once you got to 1K, I said go and get 2K. So we need, if you share it, tell your friends, tell anybody,
tell everybody, tell your
tell
mama.
everybody. My podcast, my show might not be the funniest, but go listen to somebody else's. So you got something for everybody.
We do literally have something for everybody. But like I said, thank you again. Do you have any birthday shout outs?
What month are we in? November?
November, yeah.
Shout out to the Pilgrims for Thanksgiving.
I mean, okay. Shout out to the Native Americans.
Shout out for the Native Americans for sure. No, I don't got anything.
All
and
right.
Jesus Christ for December 25th, even though that's not your real birthday.
Happy birthday, 805. Shout out to us for our charter day. Happy birthday, my cousin Bayo.
Happy Charter Day, bro.
Appreciate it. Happy birthday, Larry. Happy birthday to Sydney. Happy birthday to Corey. Happy birthday to Summer. And happy birthday to Brittany. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Happy birthday, homie. For me? Yeah. Happy birthday, homeboy. For me? Yeah. Make a wish.